Hey everybody, um, this is Lion. My name's Lion, and I'm going to be the host of this video. I'm not centered. All right, so let's get this party started. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to share my screen. All right, this video is about Mystery Babylon, and as you know from the title, it is my opinion that China is Mystery Babylon. And I'm going to prove it to you. All right. Prepare to be amazed. Prepare to be blown away by this information. Because I was when I first realized it. Like, whoa. All right. Um, let's full screen this. Come on. All right, Mr. Babylon by Lion Dragon. Copyright 2020. All right. So here's some thoughts and from the past and the present as to what uh, Mystery Babylon was thought to be and is still thought to be by some people. By the way, it comes from Revelation 17 and 18. I will be reading that, well, some passages of that to you. When I was a kid, the common thought amongst the Protestant religions was that it was Rome, aka the Vatican, aka the Roman Catholic Church. And then my pastor, who was promoting this, got censured by the higher ups in the church and said, "Oh, no, 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 you can't do that." So he changed it to all false religions. Mystery Babylon is all false religions. Now, I got to tell you guys, that doesn't make any sense. If you read Revelation 17 and 18, it talks about a city, and they use the word city as like a city state. Okay, you know, back then they didn't really have countries; they had city states. Okay, when the Bible was written, they didn't really have countries. So, um, so it's talking about a city, and it's talking about all the things that they produce and sell. Okay, like flour, for instance. Religions do not produce and sell flour. All right. So, whoever came up with that idea, cuckoo, cuckoo. All right. And then, excuse me, guys. But honestly, there's still some people on the web who think that it's either Rome or the false religion. Just go Google it and you'll see there's some people who still think that, and they're completely false. There's no way that fits. All right. So um, then I I did some research on my own and I came up with the idea that maybe Mystery Babylon is America. And there are quite a few people who would agree with that concept. I just watched a video the other day where the person said that Mystery Babylon is America. And up until recently, I thought so too. Okay. But now I'm thinking it's China. And there's one other dude on the internet who agrees with me so far. So far, I'm hoping to change some minds here. But so far, there's like one other dude on the entire internet who agrees with me. All right. So I got to put this up because I am going to be using some pictures, but it's all legal. Okay, I'm not breaking any copyright laws. All right. See, for example, here's one that I made. I took two ancient artworks. One was a sculpture and one was a painting, and I put them together. And they don't belong to anybody. I mean, the producers are dead, so I don't think they care if I use their artwork. Um, Revelation 17:1, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Okay, so I'm going to be using this image to represent the great whore. She sits on a beast. The beast actually has 10 heads, but I couldn't find an ancient Chinese drawing with a creature with 10 heads. Sorry, it doesn't exist. So this will have to suffice, okay? And you'll have to use your imagination. But and another thing, you need to understand that the Bible uses a lot of metaphors, a lot. They use allegories, which is a story using metaphors. They use um, just plain old metaphors. Sometimes they use similes. Lots of figurative language in the Bible. Okay, and I did my master's degree and my dissertation on metaphors. Well, my master's degree is in which isn't finished, but I did half a master's degree in applied linguistics, but I did my dissertation on metaphors. So I'm pretty knowledgeable on metaphors. Okay, so the great whore that sitteth upon many waters is a metaphor. It's actually a kind of metaphor that's called personification. All right, where the Bible personifies a country. We're talking about a country, and the Bible calls this country a great whore. All right, and let's see here. With Okay, so this is Revelation 17, verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So clearly, this is metaphorical because wine is not fornication. All right, fornication is um, having sexual relations outside the bonds of marriage. Now, sometimes wine does accompany that, but it says wine of her fornication. Clearly, this is metaphorical. Okay, and um, here's a screenshot from howmuch.net. In fact, I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna show you where I got this. Howmuch.net. China map. Let's see what comes up. I had it all up, but internet issues. There it is. There's the map. So, um, so that I don't break any copyright laws, we're just gonna go to the website, and I'm just reporting what other people have reported. Okay, so so if you go to howmuch.net, you can see this image. All right, and it shows how much business is done with China. Okay, this is exporters. That's not what I wanted. Let's go back. Trade balance. This is what I want. Internet's a little bit slow. Okay. Mapping China's biggest trading partners. So this is the one I wanted. These are the countries that have trade with China. And as you can see, it's pretty much the whole world. Okay. It's pretty much the whole world that has trade with China. So we go back to my slideshow. So, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication is a metaphor, meaning they have entered into this bond. It's a trading bond at the expense of morality. Because what does a whore do? She sells her morality for money. Well, what morality is being trampled upon here or sold? I would say clean air. I lived in China, guys. I lived in China. The air is horrible. You know, one of the I shouldn't say this, but I was going to say one of the good things about the coronavirus is all the factories shutting down, and the children of China will now be able to see that the sky is actually blue. Because when I lived there, there weren't no blue skies. Okay, it was yellow, brownish yellow skies every day, and even the clouds looked yellow when it was cloudy. Um, except on a maybe a few occasions when the factory was shut down or the wind was blowing the right way. I don't know, but mostly, kids in China now, they're going to be asking their parents, "Why is the sky blue?" Seriously. So, they traded having clean skies, clean air, and traded their health for money. So that's how they fornicated. All right. All right. Verses 3, 9, and 12. So he carried me away. He is the angel, and me is John the Revelator. So the angel carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. I told you, the beast has 7 heads and 10 horns. Well, what do these represent? The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth, which this is what the angel told John, because John asked, what does this mean? And the angel said, the 7 heads are 7 mountains. Now, that's why a lot of people thought it was Rome or the Vatican, because Rome is allegedly built on 7 hills. But it doesn't say 7 hills, it says 7 mountains. And I and others believe this represents the 7 continents. Okay, so basically, this woman's influence covers the entire world. And the 10 horns, the angel says, which thou sawest, are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings. So that is the deep state. There is a deep state which rules the world behind the scenes, and they have no authority to do so. They're not elected officials, they're not kings, but they rule the world behind the scenes with their money and power. Okay? That's definitely referring to the deep state. Now, what about the 7 kings? In verse 10, it says, "And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space." So here are the 7 kings of China. I got this information from Wikipedia. I was going to go there and show you, but it takes too much time. So I just copied and pasted it here. And I'm giving credit where credit is due. This is from, if you type in presidents of China, Wikipedia comes up. Now, I was just curious. I was like, well, I wonder how many presidents China has had since Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong. And I'm pronouncing that correctly because I lived in China. I know how to pronounce Chinese. Okay. So since Mao Zedong, you've got 7 presidents. Look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 5 are fallen. I take that to mean 5 are dead. Mao is dead, Liu is dead, Dong is dead, Li is dead, Yang is dead. Now, reports came out that Jiang Zemin was dead. And miraculously, he appeared in the flesh. I got to show you this because anyways, I think he's dead. It says here that he's living. He's 93 years old. But I'll explain why I think he's dead. Okay, so let's go to the next page. So first of all, there's a lot of reasons. This is on the left. This picture on the left is what he looked like when he was president, and this is what he looks like now. He came out of seclusion, and he was attending at President what's his name, Xi Jinping, Xi Jinping. Go back. No, go back. Xi Jinping. So Xi Jinping invited him to come and listen to him speak for 3 hours. Okay. And so this is allegedly Jiang Zemin. All right. But and people remarked, not just me. I'm like, dude, that guy has no wrinkles. And people have remarked in a lot of people have remarked how young he looks. He looks even younger now than he did when he was president. And he's what did he do? Go get some Botox? At 93 years of age, he went to go get some Botox, and he decided to dye his hair orange. Guys, are you freaking kidding me? This is not Jiang Zemin. Now, I have 2 theories. Theory number 1, it's not Jiang Zemin. And they're using a body double. And they have their reasons for this, which I'll get into later. The second theory is that it is Jiang Zemin's body, but he actually did die, as the news said he did. But they brought him back to life, and with a demon in his body. And this happens all the time, guys. Happens all the time. Okay. When you die and your spirit leaves your body, a demon if the demon comes in immediately, they can take over your body. All right. So I want to show you some of the news reports because you guys don't believe me. All right, I'll show you. Let's see here. Let's go to Google. Jiang Zemin died. Let's see here. There was a news report that reported him dead. And China insists reports of Jiang Zemin's death are pure rumor. It was a Hong Kong news agency, Hong Kong news agency reports Jiang Zemin dead. Broadcaster fired for Jiang Zemin's death. Story, CNN. See, so there was a report out that he had died. There were, frankly, several reports that he had died, and miraculously he's back. Yeah, and looking younger than ever. He looks younger than all those other guys up, all those other old dudes up there. So something hoky's going on here, guys. Excuse me. All right, so go back to my PowerPoint. Why? Why would they want him back? Well, you've got the Hu Clan, and you've got the Shi Clan. And these guys are heads of two factions of China, which are like cartels, okay? We don't use the word cartel usually to refer to Chinese families, but they are huge ruling families in China, okay? You've got the Shis and the Hus. And my mind's trying to think of a joke, but I can't think of one right now. How about who's she? Ha ha ha. Okay, so you've got these two cartels, and the people are catching on. Okay, the people of China do not trust the CCP anymore. What is the CCP? The Chinese Communist Party. They don't trust it anymore. And so, but this guy, Jiang Zemin, was a very beloved president when he was in power. Okay. And so I'm predicting, remember, you heard it here first. I'm predicting that there's going to be riots and revolts in China, and they're going to be calling for Jiang Zemin to come back into power, and to heck with, it's like to heck, we're going through the same thing here in America. It's like to heck with the Republicans and the Democrats. We're sick and tired of it. All right. In fact, in my opinion, we should just do away with the party system. Have one party and we vote for the best person. That's it. Do away with the party system. We're sick and tired of the lies and the backbiting and the fighting. No, we don't want it anymore. Same thing in China. They're going to go through this. They're going through this. Okay. And they don't want it anymore. And I'm predicting they brought Jiang Zemin back to life. because he's going to be the eighth. It says in verse 11, and the beast that was, that's Jiang Zemin, and is not, okay, he is not president now. All right. He was president. He is not president now. Even he is the eighth. He will be the eighth president and is of the seven. He was one of the seven and goeth into perdition. Why does he go into perdition? Perdition basically means hell. It comes from Latin. Perdito means lost. Okay. He's lost. His spirit is lost. That body is now filled with a demon. He's going to be the Antichrist, which isn't in the Bible, by the way. Look it up. There's no Antichrist in the Bible. I think I'm going to do a whole video on who's the Antichrist because people don't realize the Antichrist is not in the Bible. All right. So, and verse 4, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of the abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Filthiness could be taken as literal because I lived in China and it is filthy. Garbage all over the place, pollution all over the place. Their waters are polluted, their air is polluted, their streets are polluted. It's a filthy country. They have given up being a healthy, clean country for money. That's their fornication. And here it is, folks. And upon her head, a name was written. Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. Again, this is metaphorical. It wasn't literally written on her head because she doesn't even exist. She's a personification of a country. Okay? So it's kind of like we have the saying in English, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Do I literally take my heart out of my chest and put it on my sleeve? No. It's like, so when it's written on her forehead, it's saying it's just out there, guys, for everyone to see. Because, I mean, it makes so much sense now. I thought it was America, but you know what? America does not export to every single country in the world, at least not as much as China does. All right. China exports everything. And I have traveled all around the world for my job. Everywhere I go, I look, made in China. Oh, made in China. Oh, made in China. I've been all over the world. And everything is made in China, folks. I when I go to other countries, I don't see, oh, made in USA. I don't see that. I see, oh, it's either made in that country or it's made in China. All right. Her abominations have covered the whole earth. And it says in verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. So, what country on earth has persecuted Christians more than China? Yeah, I know in the Middle East there has been some, but that's more recent. In the past, they tolerated the Christians. Okay. But recently but no, China has not tolerated Christians ever. Let's go. I want to show you this book. Go back to Google. Love Google. I don't love what Google does. They blocked my freaking website, okay? Because I was telling the truth. But Google is a very powerful search engine. So Not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. So what am I looking for here? I'm looking for the what was it? Are you kidding me? Brain fart. Oh yeah, Christians who have died. Christian martyrs in China, Amazon. There it is. Amazon.com. You can buy this book. Hey, I'm giving free promotion to this author. Okay. Free, what do you call it? Advertising. So he better not complain that I'm using his book. So it's Paul Hathaway who writes it. And I looked through it and I was like pretty impressed. He goes way back. I wanted to show you inside. It's not letting me. But it says China's Christian martyrs, 1,300 years of Christians in China who have died for their faith. Okay. China hates the Christian religion. I don't think that's a secret. And they haven't hid it. In fact, China is now, since they can't eradicate all the Christians, wants to rewrite the Bible. They're going to make the Bibles illegal unless it's an authorized Bible. China will rewrite the Bible. China will rewrite the Bible and the Quran to reflect socialist values. So it's all over the news. This is no secret. So they're going to confiscate all the Bibles and only allow authorized versions of the Bible. They hate Christian religion. No one hates it more than the Chinese because, even in Russia now, they're kind of, whatever, just do it in secret, have your meetings in your houses and don't go to church. We don't care. And Russia even allows the Muslims, because I know some Muslims who used to live in Russia, and even the Muslims in the Middle East were sympathetic to the Christians because, did you know this? Muslims believe Jesus was a true prophet of God. Okay, so why would they hate Christians? They don't. It's just these really bad men who want to do bad things, and so they're raping and pillaging and hurting Christians for no good reason, and it's actually against their religion to do that. So they're bad people. Going back to my PowerPoint. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. That's got to be China. No one hates the Christians more than China does. And I've been all around the world. All right. The deep state versus China. In verse 16, and the 10 horns. Now remember, the 10 horns represent the 10 leaders, the 10 kings who don't have kingdoms, which is the deep state. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked. Now, all the reports that I'm getting from people who claim to have insiders information, all the reports I'm getting are that the deep state hates China. They can't stand China because China won't play ball with them. China wants to rule the world, all right? And China was doing a pretty good job foiling the deep state's plans. And there is some there are some insiders, not many, who are suggesting that the coronavirus, am I allowed to say that? That the virus was planted in China by the deep state. Okay, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying what I heard. And these shall hate the whore, and make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. And I put down here at the bottom adrenochrome. Adrenochrome comes mostly from China, people, and these deep state and these elites who are in league with the deep state. You know, there's a deep state leadership, all right, but then there's a whole bunch of elites who are in league with the deep state, mostly the rich people, and I mean really, really, really rich people, and they like this adrenochrome, and that's coming out of China, and burn her with fire. Millions, I'm not kidding, millions of Chinese people have been cremated. So it fits. And after these things, I saw another angel. Now we're into chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. Verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Well, I'm not going to show you. You can Google it, but there's crows all over the cities of China. Now, there's one report that says it was in Wuhan. Fact check says that's not true. It wasn't in Wuhan, but in other cities in China, there are huge congregations of crows, and crows do eat dead flesh. They are omnivores. They are also scavengers, and they love to eat dead animals. So you know, make your own connections there. Chapter 18, verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of her wrath, of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Many, many, many companies, or owners of companies, have waxed rich through trade with China. Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. I believe I was um, called out of China. I was there in 2016, and had a anxiety attack, which I thought was a heart attack. But I went to the hospital, and the doctor said, "We can't find anything wrong." They did, the scans, EKG, and the MRI, and everything, and they couldn't find anything wrong with my heart. So, but I still decided to come home because it scared the crap out of me, and it scared the crap out of my son. Because I was standing when it hit, and I blanked out, and I fell and hit my head on the wall. So yeah, it scared us, and I'm glad that I'm not in China right now. Holy crap! If that had not have happened, I'd probably still be in China right now. So I count my lucky stars, and I thank my Father in heaven that He called me out of China before this whole thing came down. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. Now, when it says one day, it doesn't literally mean one day, but it came, wow, came fast, didn't it? All these plagues that have been plaguing China have come fast. Um, I was going to show you websites, but you can Google it yourself. The China has been hit again with the H5N1 bird flu, which is killing off their ducks and their geese and the birds that they eat. They have been hit again by the H1N1 swine flu, which is killing off millions of their pork. It's been hit, of course, by the virus, and and now they are being hit with what's it called? I had a brain fart again. Locusts, locusts, locusts from the Middle East. They're spreading out. Okay, so they started in the Middle East, and they're going into Africa and China and everywhere in between. And these are locusts like we have never seen before on this planet since the time of Pharaoh in Egypt and the 10 plagues. Okay, we've never seen anything this big as far as locusts go, and China is just getting hit hard. So when it says plagues plural, that's what we're talking about here. And death, millions of people dying, and mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. And I've seen complete buildings being burned with fire in China. For strong is the Lord who judgeth her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her. Yeah, lots of companies are going bankrupt right now who had dealings with China, if not have gone bankrupt already. All right. And shall bewail her and lament her when they see the smoke of her burning. Uh-oh. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And again, this is figurative. It's not literally 1 hour. But bam, 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 this came fast on the people. And then verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. We're not seeing products coming out of China. Now, China has just started to reopen the factories, and we may see some stuff coming back in a few months or even in a few weeks. But for at least 3 months there, nothing was coming out of China. And the shipping industry, verse 17, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off. I saw reports. I'm not kidding. I couldn't find it, but I saw reports in the news where the ships were afraid to dock in China. And they're just sitting out there in the ocean and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this city? Now remember, city also was equated with state or country back in those days. There was not a distinction. Verse 19, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein we were made rich, all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. You can see this is I got this from the Financial Post 2020, but they obviously got it from Bloomberg News. You can see China's production, manufacturing was around 50 something, I don't know, $50 billion a year, and all of a sudden it drops in 2020. Boom, boom. All right. So here's my conclusion. My conclusion is China is Mystery Babylon. I encourage you to leave your comments and suggestions, and so you could write suggestions for other videos. You can write comments. You can disagree with me. You can agree with me. I especially love it if you would agree with me. But yeah, like, subscribe, and comments. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna end this. Love you guys. Peace.